Hello, I am interviewing,
Ari Borit.
and this will be about a Yale student's interpretation of food waste within New Haven. The first question is, when you eat in dining halls, how much food do you typically leave uneaten?
Usually I'm pretty careful and I try to get smaller portions and just get back up again and get more food after. So I'd say I'm pretty good about it, but sometimes I have a hard time figuring out how much I'm going to eat. So sometimes it could be like a quarter of a plate or half a plate left over.
Awesome, thank you. Second question is, are you aware of any systems put in place to monitor or reduce food waste at Yale?
Not that I know of, I don't think.
Awesome, yeah. 3, do you make conscious decisions about portion size or food selection when you are at dining halls or when you are just out going to restaurants to reduce food waste?
Yeah, I'd rather get up and get 2 plates and then get more food instead of wasting the food by just getting one really big portion at first. So I think I try to be careful about how much I'm eating so it don't cause waste.
Awesome. Have you noticed any campaigns or signage related to food waste in Yale dining halls?
Nothing comes to mind at the moment.
Have you seen anything on social media or anything online about food waste, or is it just nothing across dining halls or media?
There's nothing I've noticed. It doesn't mean that there isn't there, but nothing particularly comes to mind.
Awesome, thank you. What do you do with leftover food when you eat outside the dining halls? For example, if you go to a restaurant, or as we're in dorms, we don't have a kitchen, but if we are to go and make food someplace.
I normally take it out if it's like a significant amount of food. If it's just like the very scraps left over, I'm not going to bring that home. But if it's something that I think I can make a meal out of again, or even part of a meal, I bring it home with me and I can microwave it in my room.
Awesome. Would you support initiatives like compost bins in dorms that were moved out by people who work at Yale versus compost bins that students had to move out? So those are two hypotheticals.
Mm-hmm.
And would you be willing to read more transparent waste statistics? For example, how much food waste Yale has a week or a year?
With the composting bins, I feel like the amount of food that people are eating in their dorms that maybe is compostable, I feel like it's not that much. Like, some people in my room will like bring fruit up from the dining hall, but that's kind of it. So I think if students had to take it out on their own, that would just kind of lead to rats, I think, and bugs, because I think people would just leave it open and it would attract things you wouldn't want in your room. But I guess if Yale was moving out like every day, then maybe it'd be fine. But I don't really think it's necessary in the room. And then about the transparent waste stats, I think that'd be important because maybe it'd make people more conscious of how much they're putting on their plate.
Awesome. 7th question. Do you think Yale students take food waste seriously? Why or why not?
I mean, I just see a lot of people throw out a lot of food in the dining halls. So I don't know if they're just not being conscious of food waste. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like a lot of people do throw out a good amount of food. So I guess people could take it more seriously.
Yeah. How could Yale better educate or incentivize students to reduce food waste? An incentive, for example, might be to give a cash prize to the college that has the least amount of waste in a year.
I think that'd be a good idea to make people aware of, and like to get them used to figuring out, I guess, how much they actually want to eat. I think that'd be like a good exercise if you had something like that. But yeah, I think if you pin the colleges against each other, that's a good way to do it.
Awesome. How could Yale better educate us as students about food waste and about its importance?
I mean, I said I didn't notice if there were any signage in the dining halls, maybe putting some, they have a lot of like things that they put on the tables, so maybe that could be one of the things, or one of the graphics that cycle out in the dining halls on the walls. I think that's a good way to do it, because as you're eating you can see it and it can make you more aware.
Awesome. And the last one is, how have your waste habits changed since coming to Yale? If so, how?
I guess in our room we recycle, and we have a trash, which I had at home as well. We also have compost at home, which we don't have here. So I'm still pretty good about like separating my trash and stuff. But regarding food, I think because we're eating buffet style all the time, which I didn't have at home, it was like either my family cooking or going out to eat. I kind of have more of a choice in how much I put on my plate, so I guess just being more careful about how much I'm gonna actually eat.
Great. Thank you so much for the interview.